Okay, you guys, so I am a little more zoomed in than I usually typically am on my sort of usual tutorials, and we are going to get this look, whatever this is, whatever I have practiced. We're going to try and do it. Anyway, yes, so let's crack on with the tutorial. The look that inspired me to create this was from a makeup artist called, is it Mmmitchell? I don't really know how to pronounce that, but it's this look here, if you can just pull it back. This look here. So my eye at the minute looks absolutely nothing at all like this picture at all. So because I am not a makeup artist and because I am nowhere near as talented as this wonderful human being, I've sort of adopted it into my own sort of attempt or my own sort of approach at this makeup look. First thing I'm going to do is prime my eyes. I already have done this and I just used the Rimmel Lasting Finish Concealer. My first shade, I'm going to go into a Makeup Geek eyeshadow, and this here is called Simply Marlena, which is the one that I'm going to go in with. Taking this on a brush that looks like this. It's almost like a really compact blending brush. So what I'm doing is going just above the crease, so if you can see here where my eye sort of folds, and I'm pushing the product onto this area, and I'm literally going to do it from front to back. You can tell I'm not a makeup artist when I use those terms. So the next shade I'm going to go in with is a shade from the Modern Renaissance palette, and this and this is BUON Fresco, which is this shade just here. I'm using this on the Zoeva 228 Luxe crease brush, which is like a really big, nice, fluffy brush. I'm going to use that to blend out this pink here. And Lilac is going to be a nice sort of transition shade. So I'm applying the slightest smidge of pressure. I'm holding the brush at the bottom. I feel like it gives you more control and it also doesn't apply too harsh. I have just gone back in with a smidge bit of that product, and I'm kind of regretting it actually because it applied too much. It's a very pigmented shade, but I'm literally just softly doing windscreen wiper motions. Okay, now that is somewhat blended. Now what I'm going to do is go back in, repeat this whole process of adding the Simply Marlena shade and then blending it out with BUON Fresco again, just because I really want, can you see we've sort of lost some of that colour. I really want really bold colours, and this is just going to mean that I'm going to have to go back in and add the colour. Next we are going to go into the black, which is quite scary actually. So I'm going to go in with Makeup Geek Corrupt here, and I'm taking this on the same brush that I used to apply Simply Marlena. Instead of going in with full jet black colour, I'm going to dip it into the shadow and then just slightly tap off some of the product, just so I can just downlay the colour. And what I'm, okay, maybe I tapped it all off. Yeah, and I'm just packing that on, and then lightly I'm just dragging that above my crease bone. Now a tip that I can give you guys is just to keep looking, because you want this black to be visible. Actually guys, I'm going to switch up my brush because I feel like actually that was too big. So I'm going to go in with the 231 Luxe Petite crease brush from Zoeva and just go back over what I had previously done. So once we have that down, we are looking somewhat like a panda. So I'm now going to go in with this base shadow brush from Real Techniques, and I'm going to go into the shade Cherry Cola from Makeup Geek, but I'm also going to mix it a little bit with Venetian Red from the Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm using this to blend out the black into the pinky colour. Now going back into the Luxe Crease brush from Zoeva, I'm just taking this to lightly feather out the rest of the colour because I don't want it looking too bulky. And also completely ignore my this base here because we're going to put concealer over it, so don't worry. I think that's one of the most important things that you can do when like attempting a makeup look, because I feel like it can really knock your confidence, is if you judge it before the actual final product. And when you do have the final product and you feel like it's not the best, I feel like that's when you can learn from it, so don't be too hard on yourself. So I'm going back into my concealer, which is the same one that I used to prime my eyes, and I'm taking this on, I think it's just like a flat shader brush. I think I got this off eBay. I'm going to apply, measure up sort of where I've applied this on the other side, and then literally just make a mark. Just going to drag this down. I was going to create like a T just there, so it gives me my reference for how far I want to sort of cover. So I'm just filling in that T and creating sort of a blank space for us to put the colour onto. To just merge that with the black. There's a brush that I have from Zoeva, which is actually one of the most amazing brushes ever, and it's the Detail Shader brush, the 237 brush, and it just helps to get into these little creases, so I'm going to be using a lot of these, this brush quite frequently. Okay, next shade we're going to go into Venetian Red and that mixture of Simply Marlena together, and apply this just where the black is. Oh, that came out really pigmented then. And then I'm using that Detail Shader brush to mix the two together. Glitter, because of course I couldn't do anything without glitter. I'm going to go into, is this Midnight Cowboy? Yeah, Midnight Cowboy from Urban Decay. I am going to apply this to the middle of my eye, but then we're almost going to draw that T back. So, you know, with the concealer where we sort of drew that T shape, we're going to do this with the glitter. I'll let that dry for a bit, just because it takes a while for it to sort of sit down. And then I'm going to go into a glitter palette that I have from Prima makeup, and I'm going to go into this sort of champagne-y shade here. Because this is a thicker glitter, this is why I use the Urban Decay, so that if there are any sparse areas, that sort of glitter can fill them in. I'm going to go back in with the mix of Midnight Cowboy as well, just to go over what we have previously done. And I feel like this glitter is a little bit more luminous than the Prima makeup glitter. Okay, now because on this look, Mitchell sort of had a sort of a black outer line, I'm going to go in with the Sigma E06 brush, I think this is. It's like the most tiniest brush ever. And just on the black, I'm going to go above that T area just to almost outline. I'm going to go back into that detailed shader brush from Zoeva and just sort of softly blend that out as much as I can. There is one more step to this look, and if you haven't guessed already, I feel like these types of eye looks take so much time. Okay, so I'm going to go back into that plain sort of blending brush that we used earlier. Now what I want to do is just reintroduce a lot of this colour, so I'm going to go back into Simply Marlena and just ever so slightly pat this over the glitter. So for my lower lash line, I look like I've got an absolute 5 head here and I just look absolutely crazy. So for lower lash line, I'm going to go in with Simply Marlena. I don't know how many times I have said that that name today, and I'm taking this on a brow line brush, which is from Zoeva, and it's actually not meant for lower lash lines, but YOLO. I'm just going to go in with Corrupt, just sort of press that into the lash line. I'm going back in with Simply Marlena and I'm going to blend that shade out. Okay you guys, so I've popped on some lashes, some mascara, some liner, popped on my lips, and I didn't want to bore you guys with it. So this is the finished look, and I have not worn this much makeup since yesterday. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't done anything like this for such a long time, so it feels heavy, like heavy. I feel like I really need to up my skills if I'm going to even attempt any of the rest of his looks, because he is such a talented person and just so creative as well, so I kind of look to him for my inspiration. So I don't feel like I achieved this look, however I sort of made it my own. I feel like I should have used more warm pink tones, but actually I just sort of stayed within the purple realm. But yeah, I don't feel like I did too bad. Someone who's not like a professional at makeup and so very inexperienced. So yeah, I don't know, what do you guys think? I don't know, you guys will have to let me know what you think. It's very dramatic, and I wouldn't even wear this like on a night out. I would just do this as like a makeup tutorial thing. But yeah, I like it. It's cool. Who knows? But yes, thank you so much for watching today. Thank you for bearing with me, and I hope you like this look, and hopefully if you guys aren't feeling confident, it gives you a little bit more confidence to attempt something like this, even when we don't get it to exactly how perfect we want it. So yeah, so anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye!